Good morning from South Korea. Hello, guys, or good evening to you. If you're just joining us, a little rundown for our training today. We are going to go through some slides rather quickly. Remember, this is recorded, so you can go back over it. If you have any questions along the way, go ahead and leave them in the comments on the bottom, and we'll bring them up as the show goes on. So just to give you an example of how that's going to look. Nick left us a question earlier that said, I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it. However, my question is, when you do a live Hangout on air, does it record the session to my YouTube channel as well? Thanks. So we will answer that question. The short answer is yes, it does record to your YouTube channel. And I'm going to show you how you set those privacy settings. I will open it up for discussion if you guys want to jump inside the Hangout after the training. So go ahead and just watch from the outside, and if you want to jump in later, I'm going to share that link with you. Also, remember that the Indiegogo fundraising is going on, so be sure to share that with whoever you think it would be applicable to, and maybe they can sponsor your class to get one of the cool rewards that we have for you. We've almost reached our original goal, and we have some extra cool rewards after that. Packages coming from different countries that we visit to a winning classroom, or maybe I can even visit your classroom if we reach certain higher goals. So with that said, we're going to jump into our training. Remember, my goals for this training is just to empower you to use this really cool tool in your classroom. It'd be great if you find a way to use it with GeoShow and connecting and collaborating, but if not, I hope you find a great use for it in your classroom. Also, it's for me to practice other ways to try to increase participation with large audiences. And one of the ways we're going to do that today is start to include comments from the outside and Twitter questions, which we'll show you how that works. So with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to jump into today's training. All right, so today's training is using Hangouts in the classroom, how to start a Hangout. So if you missed the last training, you won't want to go back and watch how to view, how to be a viewer, or how to join a Hangout. So today I'm teaching you how to start one. And before we get started, our Geo question for the day is, can you start a private Hangout on air? We usually see the public ones, but can you do it privately? And if you think you know the answer, you can, if you're on Twitter, give me the answer of yes or no at hashtag GeoShowA for yes or hashtag GeoShowB for no. And we'll check back in on that question later. The Google apps that we're going to use today are Google+, Google Calendar, YouTube, and Gmail. And a rundown for our schedule is, should you use a video Hangout or a Google Hangout? And if you're using a video Hangout, do you want to start it now or start it later? And if you're using a Hangout on air, do you want to start it now or later? And how do you set the private settings? Okay, so Hangouts, if you remember, a quick review. You can have an audio Hangout, so it's like a telephone call. You can have a video Hangout or text Hangout, which is like instant messenger. We are only concerned with the video Hangouts for using it for virtual field trips. And to accomplish that, we're going to use the Google Calendar app, the Gmail app, and the Google Plus app. And if you remember, Hangouts on Air is the video Hangout option from Google Plus YouTube gives you the ability with Hangouts on Air. And if you remember our analogy, it's the difference between, on the Google Plus side, of being on Oprah, so being on stage, sitting in a chair with Oprah, talking to her, or watching Oprah from home on TV. So are you a physical participant in the conversation, or are you just a watcher or a viewer? And what that looks like on our screen on the left side is our video Hangout window, and on the right side is a YouTube video player. So anywhere you can watch a YouTube video player, you can embed your broadcasted Hangout on Air. So, coming back to the question, which one should you use? That's the first thing we need to decide. So, if you need to broadcast to a large audience, you're going to want to use a Hangout on Air. Do you want a recorded session of your Hangout on Air or video Hangout? Then you're going to use the Hangout on Air. Do you want it to be private? If you want it to be private, you can use either one. So we'll talk about how you do that with the Hangout on Air. And are there any legal issues? So what I mean by that, do you have the proper permissions to put your students on a live or recorded video or audio on the internet? So if you don't have those permissions, then you're going to want to use a video Hangout. Or if you follow my training and it's okayed by your administration, you can do a private Hangout on Air that is not shared with anyone. So I'll show you how to do that as well. So starting a video Hangout. Okay, do you want to start it right now or do you want to start it later? If you want to start it right now, you have two options. The easy way I'm going to show you is to directly open the window, A, or B, make a direct call. So what that looks like in Google+, to immediately open the window, if you remember, the Hangout icon is in the top right-hand side of the window. Just click on that. That opens up your Hangout sidebar. At the bottom, you're going to hover over the Start the Video Hangout. That's going to reveal this green button. Just click on that, and voila, there goes your video Hangout that is now open. Another way you can do that is on the left-hand side, hover over your home menu, click on your Hangouts option, and then click the Video Hangouts page, and on the right-hand side, you'll see another Start a Video Hangout button, and voila, again, you have your window. Now remember, you did not invite anyone, so if you actually want to indeed hang out with someone else, you're going to need to invite them. So remember, inside your window from last time, if you click on the invite icon, you will now have the option through this dialog box to do that. You can do it with this link, who you can share with anyone, or you can personally invite people, or a circle, or an email address. Okay, to make a direct call from any Google Plus or Gmail contact that you may have, you're just going to click on this little video icon anytime you see it. So what it looks like on the Google Plus side is on the profile page, you see this little Hangout icon under their name. You know, click on that. Their hover cards, anytime you hover over someone's name, this pops up. It also reveals a Hangout icon. You can click that, or in our Hangout side panel, you can search a contact and click their name. All three options, when you click their name, will pop up the text Hangout box, which has the little video icon in the top left corner. And you just click on that, and that will call that person. It will open up the window and automatically send an invite to them. From the Gmail side, remember the Hangout icon is on the bottom left. So when you click that, again, that opens up your Hangout sidebar, and you can click on a contact name. That's going to do the same thing it did in Google+, and you're going to click on the video icon. Also, there's just too many to go over, but anywhere inside of Gmail where you can hover over someone's name or click someone's name, all these options appear. Just anytime you see a video icon near someone or on their little ID card, if you click on that, it will send them a direct call. Okay, so if you want to schedule a video Hangout for the future, you don't want to start now. You can do that two ways. Either A, in Google+, you can do it by creating an event, and you can do it via Google Calendar. So in Google+, if you click on Home and Events, you're going to open up your event page, and you're going to click on the Plan a Hangout. You can do it by clicking on Create Event, but this is just a shortcut. So just hit Plan a Hangout. Inside there, you can put a nice pretty banner on your event page. You can give it a name. This is where you're going to set your time. And this is who do you want to invite. to your event. So it can be one person, or it can be a whole circle or a group of people. And this is the page that we'll create. If remember, you can put a nice banner on there if you want to. If it's just one person, don't worry about it. The way you open up your Hangouts menu when you get there is this little Hangouts button on the bottom right. It's very small, so don't miss it. In Google Calendar, the way that you do this is, if you're not familiar with Google Calendar, we're not gonna go over that. It's not enough time with this training. But you simply just drag in your calendar to create events. When your event window pops up, you're going to click on Edit Event. Edit Event. And I'm sorry, I did not put a arrow here, but if you see right in the middle under Where, under Event Details, it says Video Call. So if you click on Add Video Call, it's going to add a video call. So now when I go into my calendar and click on the events in the future, when this day comes, I'll have to go and click on this Join Video Call link, and it will open up the window. I do not have to go inside of Google Plus or Gmail. I can do it all from Google Calendar. All right, so that's how we start a Google Video Hangout from Google Plus, Calendar, and Gmail. So back to our question, can you broadcast a private Hangout on air? Can you broadcast a private Hangout on air? And I gave us a answer to that. All right, so this is where I'm just doing a little demo of how we can try to incorporate participation from the outside, from classes who are not able to be inside of the Hangout window. And this is an answer I left earlier, so I said yes. And we're going to get to that in our second part of our training. Second part of our training. All right. Remember, I am going through this stuff rather quickly, and you can go back and watch it because it is all recorded. Okay, so my last question, if you're watching, you can try this again. We'll end the broadcast. Which U.S. state am I from? What U.S. state am I from? And you can send that to just hashtag GeoShow. All right, so starting with Hangouts on Air. First, we're going to go over privacy settings, and then I'm going to show you how to start and schedule a Hangout on Air. And I actually think it's a little easier to start from the Google Plus side. So first, if you're not familiar, if you remember, a Hangout on Air incorporates YouTube. Okay, so if you're familiar with YouTube, you'll recognize these settings. If you are not, we're going to review them. So anytime you see this world icon, this means it's public. So that means anyone can watch this YouTube video, anyone can watch this live stream. All right, unlisted, so that is the open lock icon. What that means is you cannot search for the recorded video, and you cannot search for the live stream. Google Plus will not advertise it in any way, your Google Hangout on Air. However, if I invite you to an unlisted Hangout on Air and I give you the link, now you can share that link with the world, and the world can come and watch that. So this is not private. So there is a difference there. So make sure you know the difference. And private is the closed lock. Okay, so this means if I do not share it with anyone, no one can watch it but me. If I share it with you, you cannot share it with anyone else. So you can give someone else the link, but they will not be able to view it on the YouTube video player unless I share it with them. So that's the difference between private and unlisted, and you need to be aware, you know, of the difference between the two. So you can start a public, unlisted, or private Hangout on Air from YouTube. You can do all three, but you cannot do all three from Google Plus. And this is where a lot of people just don't know about this option because most of us are starting a Hangout on Air from Google+. So I'm going to show you how to do both of those now. So really quick and easy way in Google+, you're just going to click on your home menu on the top left. You're going to open up your Hangouts. And right there on the first page, you can click this Start a Hangout on Air blue button, or you can go to your Hangouts on Air page, and there's that blue button again. So either of those two blue buttons, if you click on it, it's going to pop up this dialog box where you can, this is creating an event along with your Hangout on Air. So you can give it a name, a description. You can start it right now, or you can schedule it for the future. And here's where it's going to determine if it's public or unlisted. So to make it unlisted, just X out public. And you can invite circles, 1 person, 10 people. All right, and this is the event page. So it creates an event page, and this is a little bit different than our past event. This automatically puts an embedded YouTube player on the event page for us, which is really nice because it also allows us to put a trailer here, which I'll show you in a second. So first of all, if you start now, you can just click on this blue button, and this will open up your Hangout on Air window right away. You can add a trailer, so you can get fancy smancy with your Hangouts if you're doing one in the future. If you have a school play that you're going to record, maybe you can do a cool little 30-second trailer for the parents, and you can upload it here, and it will put it right in the spot for you, which is really nice. You can also just add a picture. And this other thing I'm going to show you right here is this little links button. If you click on your links, this is how you can share it with people. So this little box will pop up. It will give you the link to this page that we're on now, the event page in Google+. It will give you the link to the YouTube page. So if someone doesn't have Google+ account, so they can watch it on YouTube. Or you can take the video embed and you can put it on your class blog or your school website, anywhere that you can embed a video. And that is how you start a public or unlisted Hangout on Air from Google+. Okay, last part. So this is the stuff most of you were interested in. This is how you start from the YouTube side. So this is just the first page in YouTube. When you open up on the top right-hand side, if you already have a YouTube account, you're going to click on your icon, and this dialog box is going to pop open, and then you're just going to click on Creator Studio. And this is going to bring you to the dashboard of your YouTube channel. Inside your YouTube channel, your dashboard here, on the left side, you're going to click on Video Manager. And under Video Manager, you're going to click on Live Events. Now, if this is the first time you're doing this, YouTube is going to prompt you to, they're going to double check that it's you. So you're going to have to enter a phone number. They'll send you a text, and then you'll put in the code. This is not my first time, so I'm going to click on Live Events. This is just a zoom in of that. And this is our event page, our live event page within YouTube. So the events that you see already on the page are scheduled events I already have, but we are going to want to click the top right button. It says New Live Event. So we're going to click on New Live Event, and we have two menus, a basic info and advanced settings. So under basics, you're just going to give it a title. You're going to set when you want to have your Hangout on Air, description, tags. I'm not going to go through these if you're familiar with YouTube. Okay, here's what we want to know. This is where we're going to set our video. Do we want it to be private? Do we want it to be unlisted? Or do we want it to be public? And right under that box is we're going to add people. So if we set it to private and I do not add anyone right here, that means no one will ever see this video. So this is where I can record myself for self-evaluation or just to make a video for parents or whatnot. or you can add emails or Google Plus Circle. And remember, those people cannot share it with anyone else, so only they will be able to watch it. If it's unlisted, those people will be able to share with anyone. So make sure you know the difference. You're not going to want to change the type. This just is an advanced setting, so you don't have to use the video hangout player, the window from Google+. If you have advanced programs, you can just use YouTube to stream your event live. Just don't touch this. In advanced settings, I'm not going to go much into this. You can play around with this. You can turn off comments on the YouTube side because there's a lot of nasty things on YouTube. So if you just want to cut off those comments, you can do that here. And then once we get everything set up, we can go live now, or if we put it at a future date, it will say create event. And brings us back to our event page. So if we create this for the future, if we go live now, it's just going to open our Hangout window right away. If we create this for the future, we can come back later on when it's time to start that event and hit the Start Hangout on Air. And that's how we start it. So this is a screenshot. So if you look at the bottom of the page right under me, when you open a Hangout on Air, you see it's loading. So it loads it first. And notice here on the top right and the bottom, this is off air. So essentially, even if you have people inside talking with you, this is not being broadcasted. This is not live. No one is seeing anything. This is only the video hangout part of Google+. So until we hit the green Start Broadcast button, this is not being streamed. But once we are, it's going live. So once we hit it, our Start Broadcast, and we go live. Also on the bottom right, you have links where you can, same thing that was on our event page, where you can embed the video or share the YouTube page. Okay, once we hit our Start Broadcast, usually it takes a few seconds to load, and you'll get this little blue box that pops open that says this Hangout on Air is now live. And you also notice that in the top right, our live button has turned yellow, and our red record button is beside the live on the bottom of the screen. And the last thing that I'm just going to say with this, and then we'll open it up for discussion, is that if you remember on the left-hand side, we can have up to 10 people, or with your GAF account, you can actually have up to 15 people. So there is a setting for that. So you can have up to 10 people. So remember, that's 10 different cameras, or in this scenario, there's 6. So that's 6 different cameras. Only one camera is being broadcast to the YouTube video player. So if you are the person that starts the Hangout on Air, you need to realize this because I've done it. If you don't know which camera you're on, you may broadcast what you don't want to show. So, for example, if you remember from last time, if you look on the bottom right, if you see this white border that is right around my thumbnail, when that border is not there, that means it is auto switching. So that means the Google Plus Video Hangout, this window automatically decides whoever's talking is going to switch back and forth. So if that's unclicked, we call that pinned. So if it's unpinned, then the people that are viewing on YouTube, on that YouTube player, is going to see the auto switching. So if it's a bunch of noisy classrooms, it's going to be really erratic, bouncing around. If you want it to stay on one camera shot, you want to pin that person. So you can do this to yourself or to anyone. This does get a lot more advanced stuff you can go into, and different options. How you can, there are other ways that you can control the camera. I'm not going to go into it now. It's a whole different training. But for now, just realize that. So you can somewhat control the camera by pinning or letting it do it automatically. With that said, that is the end of this training. So I am now going to stop sharing my screen. And remember, if you have any questions, you can put them on the comments, and I will post the link to get into the Hangout if you would like to jump in and ask any questions. And while I'm setting this up, remember that I did ask a question earlier through our Twitter question. It says, what U.S. state am I from? So what U.S. state am I from? And so I just posted the link on the event page. So if you would like, you can jump right in. And I'll stay in here for a couple minutes to see if anyone jumps in. So what U.S. state am I from? Well, Brandon from Twitter at Learn Around the World says Maine. I am not from Maine, and I should know this about myself, although I love Maine. All right. So just a couple of announcements, and if no one joins us in the broadcast, then have a great weekend. And remember, you can watch this at your own pace because it is recorded. Remember that our Indiegogo fundraiser is live, so you can find the links to that in the community or anywhere I posted it. Even if you yourself or you have no one that wants to or that's going to contribute, that's fine. In today's world, like social media is any kind of sharing is great. So if you would, it helps all of us out. So anything I'm posting, if you would, just give it a reshare. That kind of gives us good social juice in that social media world. That helps us advertise with GeoShow, helps us get going. And with that said, you can shoot me any questions. I went through a lot of this stuff really fast. I know some of you are beginners, and you may even have trouble even opening a Google Plus account. Send me an email. This week, I have the next week off, so I'm going to be doing a lot more practicing with things. And I can do one-on-one trainings. Even if you don't feel comfortable enough right now to jump inside of a Hangout, that's completely okay. I'll jump on, we'll do a private, just a video Hangout, or we can do a practice private Hangouts on Air, and you can practice doing this stuff yourself. So now you can start using it in class. I don't see anyone jumping in, so I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'm signing off from Korea. We'll see you next time.